We are live.
We are live.
Are we live? We are live?
I'm looking on the drift. It says we are live. I see myself moving.
Oh my gosh, is that true?
It's true. It happened.
I can barely believe it. All right, well, if we're going to be live, we got to start talking, right?
I
Hi, Abra.
guess. Hey, Clay, how you doing?
I'm doing great. So let's tell folks what this is. So this is the punch list. Well, this isn't the punch list. This is us talking about the punch list. The punch list is the article that goes up every Wednesday morning on nerdsonearth.com, our website, and the punch list is the punchy look at the week's news. So the biggest news in nerd culture. So it could be D&D, it could be something on Disney Plus. Hint, it will be something on Disney Plus.
High
It
odds of
could be
that.
those sort of things. The stuff that nerds love. For folks who are joining us who don't know what Nerds on Earth is, I don't know why they're watching us, but there it is. So Nerds on Earth is a website devoted to nerd stuff. So we publish something every day during the week. So fun little
Sometimes
stuff.
more than
Board
once if
game
we can
review,
get it
D&D
going.
play, something Marvel movies. We love the MCU sort of thing. 2 million readers in 2019, and we're on pace to do even more than that. So nerds love us, and we love nerds, and that's nerdsonearth.com. And again, the punch list is every Wednesday. And then this afternoon, we're going to go a little longer and discuss the news. So that's exciting.
A little long-winded punch list for
Nerds
you.
are not known to be long-winded. How dare you?
No, we like to keep our thoughts succinct.
For ourselves, Abram.
That is absolutely true.
Yeah. So you ready to get into it, or you have something clever to say?
I have nothing clever to add, although you didn't use our cool tagline, the hard-hitting nerd news that you need to know. But I like
the tagline, Abram.
I know, and it's kind of a tongue
That's
twister.
the tagline you want me to use, and you're not the boss of me.
I kind of like the punchy one you said.
I don't even know what I said.
we'll have to go back in the files, the cutting room floor, and see what failed to make the cut.
All right, well, let's talk about nerdy goodness. You ready?
Yeah, let's go. What's
all right? I
seven?
Got right here. I got the punch list. Nerdsonearth.com. I got to pull it up, so we're going straight through the way a reader could do it, but we're going to add a little bit of color, a little bit of commentary. And the first piece of news, number 7, is about Star Wars, and that's Boba Fett. You heard of him?
Briefly.
Yeah, he's kind of a part of popular culture. So Boba Fett to feature in The Mandalorian season 2. So that's exciting.
That's like PB&J. That's combined two great things.
Yeah, we'll discuss. Let's talk about Boba Fett being on The Mandalorian. And if you haven't watched The Mandalorian, for heaven's sake,
please.
It's awesome.
Please go. Yeah, Boba Fett has always been one of my favorite Star Wars characters. I love the mystery. I love the helmet. And all that stuff they put in the Mandalorian series with Mando. I mean, I had a Boba Fett Lego keychain until that fell off. I drink from a Boba Fett coffee mug at least 3 days a week. So you could say I'm pretty inundated into Boba Fett culture. So I am all in on Boba Fett in Mandalorian season 2.
Well, I'm half in.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, like I'm
half in a Sarlacc pit.
We try to be positive, so I'm not going to go cranky pants. So here's all I'm going to say is I appreciated that The Mandalorian kind of dealt with new characters, right? Kind of the off the beaten path sort of things. And so one of the things I loved about Boba Fett is I made up his mythology in my mind.
Sure.
When I was a kid, and so there was a mystery to him, and of course, the prequels. I mean that I'm old, right? I watched Empire Strikes Back in the theaters, and so part of the prequels where I'm like, like that didn't match the picture I had in my head. But anyway, like it's great. The Mandalorian is an excellent show, so I don't have any reason to doubt that Boba Fett's inclusion will be nothing but awesome. But when I first heard it, I'm like, I wanted more new characters.
Yeah, I hope, I don't know, I hope the way they present him is maybe, I don't know, that they keep that kind of mystery about him, or they give us sort of this angle that we haven't seen. I still go back episode 5 of The Mandalorian, the gunslinger.
Yeah.
And we see those boots
Yeah.
walking. Everyone's thinking, that it's not Boba Fett, that it's what's the guy's name at the end? Moff Gideon.
Yeah.
People think it's him. I don't know. Could be Boba Fett.
Well, here's one quick anecdote. So I watch it with my girls, and so the last episodes of Mandalorian, the helmet comes off, right? And so my 11-year-old was like, like it's weird to see him without his helmet on, and I kind of felt that too.
Yeah, I got it.
So I mean that's part of the thing with the mystery. But anyway, like it'll be great. And so that's the news. Boba Fett is going to feature in Mandalorian season 2. But wait, number 6, there's more Mandalorian news.
Hit me.
Katie Sackhoff reprises Bo-Katan Kryze in The Mandalorian. So, yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Character from the Clone Wars and Rebels series, which I have not watched, so I'm going to push this to you, and you discuss this.
Can I push it right back? Because I was going to say the same thing. I am not familiar with the Clone Wars Rebels series.
Yeah, I'm not an animation guy, so I don't. I'm a grown up. I don't watch cartoons. No, I don't watch a lot of animation. So as big a Star Wars fan as I am, and everyone gets onto me, tells me I'm in the minority, that I need to watch Clone Wars and Rebels, but I just haven't seen it.
I think there's
a love character, and she's going to bring the character to life. She's voiced the character on those animated shows, and she's going to bring it to life in The Mandalorian. So that's kind of awesome, and that's the kind of character where I'm like, okay, that's kind of neat.
And I don't know. Are spoilers okay? Mandalorian spoilers? I don't want to spoil anything. But in the final episode, apparently there's some connection here to this character in the final episode of Mandalorian. So I am the Darksaber thing.
Okay.
So I'm interested about that. I like this whole. I know nothing about that either. So
yeah,
I'm like just
excited. See, now as we talk and we realize we don't know anything about it, I'm getting even more and more excited.
Yeah.
There's also Rosario Dawson is going to bring a beloved animated character to life in The Mandalorian. So it's going to go deep into current Star Wars mythology.
Yeah, and I think that's really cool that they're people that are sort of in the Star Wars ecosystem, like they know these characters already, and even though they're doing animated stuff, like let's bring them to the screen. And I think the same. We probably didn't touch on that on the Boba Fett news, but I think the voice actor from something for Boba Fett is doing the same same thing. So it's really cool that they're keeping people in the ecosystem that are already there.
Yeah, all the nerds are just going to be like in the comments like, those two don't even.
They haven't watched so far 2 pieces of news that they haven't watched anything. Yeah. They watched The Mandalorian.
We told you we didn't, so back off. Go. So number 5. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Is almost said the Netflix. The Netflix.
The Ohio State Netflix.
They have a new show coming up based on the comic book The Old Guard. And The Old Guard, Charlize Theron is going to star in it. It's from Greg Rucka's comic. And it's a cool comic. It's like a little bit of Highlander, a little bit of Doctor Who sort of thing, where there's immortal protectors, and they're the Old Guard, right? And so anyway, I'm gonna push to you. I don't know if you were familiar with the comic The Old Guard, but this is going to make for a neat Netflix movie, I think.
Yeah, I don't know much about it. I know Nerds on Earth, we did a teaser on YouTube, the first issue of the comic, I don't know, years ago, I guess that was.
Yeah.
So I watched that, and that was kind of my first foray into the Old Guard. But I don't know, whenever you talk about shows dealing with immortality and stuff, it's always interesting how they present it, because you got people that are focusing on moving on and the world is moving on with you and things are changing, but at the same time everything you love is getting left behind. That's such an interesting concept to me, how you would even deal with that if you're in the situation. So And Charlize Theron, Furiosa from Mad Max Fury Road, fantastic.
Yeah.
So like that's, I mean, that alone is enough reason for me to.
She's a Hollywood legend. Yeah.
Totally.
So the comic, the Old Guard comic, it doesn't have a whole lot of breadth to it. It almost got greenlit into production, picked up off the first issue. So just the premise. So it's not like there's 100 issues of the Old Guard that you can run to catch up. You get a couple trades, right, and just catch up on the story.
Sure.
But if you're familiar with Rucka, the way he writes characters is some of these characters, because of what you mentioned, just the immortality, they're just kind of a mess. And so they'll do self-destructive things because they can't. They're just a mess.
Just to feel
emotional,
something.
just mess. And so my guess is Charlize Theron, her character will just be a walking mess. But it should be really interesting and a lot of fun. I'm surprised it's just a movie. I figured they'd do 8-10 episodes and just keep giving us more. But that's July 10th. And so because it's on Netflix, we'll actually get to see it.
You said The Walking Mess. I wonder if AMC is going to try to pick that up, run it back to back with The Walking Dead.
Yeah, just add it. That'll be the after show. Number 4, Comic-Con will now be an at-home experience. So Comic-Con was canceled. Comic-Con has always been an at-home experience for me because I've never been.
Same.
So I don't know what the difference is. It'll basically be a big string of announcements, I would think, just broadcast announcements, and I'm sure there'll be a Hall H, and it will be interesting how they'll do movie news, though, right? Where it's like, hey, get excited for this movie in 2024 when theaters aren't open and no one knows what's happening. And then they'll release products that, hey, here's a product that don't get it in the showroom floor, go order it on Amazon or whatever. So it'll be interesting, and a lot of cons are doing this.
Paizo Con was canceled.
Thing where I'm cranky old man, like I don't sit in front of streams, so I probably will just follow along on Twitter. I hope there's a hashtag, and I'll just get the big updates. Unless there's a Marvel Cinematic Universe.
There's got to be some videos. Just give me some MCU videos. Yeah. Like just put that right in my veins.
Yeah. So what do you think about this? The Comic-Con at-home experience.
I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, obviously conventions all over the place are canceling or postponing. But, PaizoCon was supposed to be this month, and they're doing the same thing. They're moving to this online kind of platform and opening it up to people. So they have, game masters running tables and stuff. So it's kind of interesting because you're not going to get that same like tactile experience of either playing games or, walking through a vendor hall and seeing these like announcements up close and personal. But I think it's almost like kind of a trial period where, people are going to be a little more lax. Like if there's technical issues or things like that, it's like, they're working out the bugs. They obviously didn't have a whole year plus to prep for this sort of thing. But, if things go well, it's a different angle to present the, Comic-Con experience to nerds. I mean, you could, in the future, we might have, regular Comic-Con and then these special, like little virtual, like little lobbies or something that, you can tune in for $5 or something. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. Like you said, I've never been to Comic-Con. It's not going to impact me, but either one way or another, people are going to get that news out there. So we'll see all this stuff coming through on social.
Now you and I have both been to Gen Con on our fancy press badges. And and we've talked about this before, that like Gen Con, board gaming, there's 70,000 people, 60,000 people. Mm-hmm. But we were joking, like if it feels like a big infectious disease. It's crowded, it's packed. And Gen Con had already been experimenting with little, like broadcast some panels, the shops. So I think a lot of conventions will do this. And the reason I bring that up is some polling research just came out. Asking the general population,
the Gen Con
how they feel about going back to things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And And across age groups, a few people will be like, yeah, I'm kind of ready. Maybe I'll go back to some restaurants, right? Like maybe I'll start shopping at some small businesses. And so you had, like maybe 40% of the people said that, yeah, I could see myself slowly going back to restaurants.
Mhm.
But then large gatherings.
Oh, people are
It
like,
was
nah.
overwhelmingly, people were like, nope, not going to do it. And the length that folks said that they would have anxiety about going to large serving was a year. And so for me, at least for a year, they don't want to do large gatherings. So conventions, movie theaters, sports, churches, those big, large gatherings, folks are like, no, we're gonna skip them for a while. We might go dabble at a sit down restaurant, but we're not going to do large gatherings.
Yeah,
So
and
conventions, I don't think this is the last we'll hear about these at home conventions.
no, and I mean, again, like conventions are huge for, publishers and, people who sell nerd stuff. So
Come home with suitcases full.
yeah, so like, but they're still going to want to do that. They're going to ride that hype. They want that action. So, keep your ears out there, because while these cons are going on, even though they're virtual and whatever, like there's probably going to be sales and stuff out there that as people try to take advantage of it. So there'll still be avenues to get your nerd fix through these long distance measures.
All right, so Mandalorian, that's Disney Plus.
Give me more Disney.
So our next number 3, we're going back to Disney Plus, is proof that Disney Plus is the greatest thing on earth right now. And this is from the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, perhaps my favorite thing in the world, after my children, of course. But
you said that just for the camera.
MCU, not news.
Rumors.
Not fully confirmed rumors, but well-sourced rumors says that Nova is set to make his debut. And so if you're not a big Marvel comic reader, Nova is a character that goes way back as a cosmic character, kind of the galactic police force, the Nova Corps. If you're a regular reader of Nerds on Earth, you'll notice, like I've been reading through the Marvel Cosmic that has been in the last 15 years, and Nova, you'll fall in love with the character of Nova in that. But Richard Rider, there's also another Nova, Sam Alexander, a younger Nova, as comic books, right? There's
gotta have multiple Novas.
You gotta have multiples, right? So there's no confirmation if it's going to be Richard Rider or Sam Alexander. But what do you think about the Nova news coming to Disney Plus?
I mean, we got to get, the whole MCU to this point, like, was building up to this huge cosmic level threat. So, odds are we're getting more of that. But, we're talking Captain Marvel, Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, Guardians of the Galaxy is so fun, and I know we're going to talk about that a little bit later too. But Nova has a lot of like well-known stories, and like Marvel Zombies, that was Nova, right? So it's interesting. I don't know. I think there's a lot of different routes that could go. If they ever did some kind of Marvel Zombies thing, I think about Far From Home with the Iron Man zombie crawling through the illusion, which was just so well done. Really great sequence, the whole thing. So, this would be good. The Human Rocket.
Yeah, the Human Rocket. So Nova goes way back in the Richard Rider. Nova goes way back in the comics, but where a lot of folks really grew to love the character was in the 90s, early 90s, in the New Warriors. The New Warriors. The first 25 issues of that comic, some of the best runs, fantastic. So a lot of folks loved Nova from that. He's also had solo series from that, but again, he was in the big Marvel Cosmic of 10 years ago, the Annihilation, the Thanos Imperative, those big storylines. But there could be a couple interesting angles, right? So with Captain Marvel movie, the Skrulls are introduced. And so everyone's talking about a potential secret invasion, right? You could do secret invasion with the Skrulls. tie it into Captain Marvel, the second movie, kind of set them up there. That would be pretty amazing to have the Nova Corps in there. We've already seen the Nova Corps in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. So there's already so many sweet hooks for Richard Rider. I don't know about Sam Alexander the Young as much, unless they would want to go a Disney Plus route and do like not a New Warriors, but maybe like a, and he wouldn't be on the Young Avengers either, but like a teenage superhero startup if they want to go that route. But most of the hooks they have currently are Captain Marvel and Guardians of the Galaxy and the Nova Corps, the Skrulls, that sort of thing where we could see. But anyway, I would love it if they would do Nova. I think it would just be fantastic, and we just don't know. There's a lot of evidence he will make his debut, but no word on how or when. So anyway,
is New Warriors, is that on Marvel Unlimited yet? It's gotta be.
It is.
All right.
Yeah, Marvel Unlimited. Read the first 25 issues and report back to me next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday?
Read that much.
All right. I think I could probably do it by then.
Yeah, we'll see. So next, more Disney Plus news, but entirely different than Nova, is Hamilton.
Whew.
Is coming to Disney Plus. So Lin-Manuel Miranda announced on Twitter that his smash Broadway show Hamilton will hit Disney Plus on July 3rd. Oh, that's awesome! Like right before Independence Day. That's really good. And then it'll be theaters, assuming theaters are open, on October 15th. So anyway, that's pretty awesome.
It's amazing. I mean, I'm very, very excited for this. I was fortunate enough, I saw Hamilton when it was in Chicago a few years ago. And it wasn't with the original cast, but it was still absolutely mind-blowing. It was incredible. Yeah. It's the music's off the charts, man. It is its own like original masterpiece. Like I can't even like think of a comparison of something that it's like. It's just so much.
It really is. I mean, yeah, it really is something remarkable. The music and history and civics should always be that fun, right?
It should be.
I mean, suddenly everyone knows about the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists. I mean, I don't know. Let's not talk about civic political engagement in 2020. But yeah, in theory, people should have learned a lot of civics from Hamilton.
Exactly. The cultural touchstone.
That's super exciting. It's coming to Disney Plus again. Like we needed further proof that Disney Plus is.
Yeah. That's just one more check in the infinitely long line of check boxes.
We got one more check box because this is more Disney Plus news. I mean, yes. We'll have 7, and almost all the big hints and rumors and news and tweets and name drops and everything is Disney Plus. But the last one is the Ravagers will feature in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and then in their own series. And so if you watch Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and you should have, because it's
so good.
It's so good. Sylvester Stallone's character, and you'll notice that one of those after credit scenes at the end, and Sylvester Stallone's character, and then the robot Miley Cyrus, and then what was it, Ving Rhames, and then those are some of the classic characters from the old school Guardians of the Galaxy. Before the Guardians of the Galaxy, we were just talking about Nova, right? Mm-hmm. And the Marvel Cosmic from 10 years ago that I'm always saying on Nerds on Earth how good they are. And so they also, the picture on the screen in the MCU, the image of the Guardians of the Galaxy, that's where they were formalized in the comics, and the movies brought those to life. There were some iterations of the characters before that, so previous to the 2010 or 2008 that we've seen on the movies. The Ravagers are the space pirates, and then some of the Guardians of the Galaxy, the Charlie 27, and those sort of things. They're these old school characters. So the rumor is that they will feature in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and then get their Disney Plus series, which, if that happens, I mean, imagine the Mandalorian bounty hunter kind of tone and feel, except in the Marvel Universe with Sylvester Stallone.
I mean, you got the possibilities are endless, and that's one of the beauties of the Guardians of the Galaxy, is that there's all of these characters. There's no real main character. I mean, of the ones that are in the MCU now, you could say Star-Lord is the leader, but really all of the characters bring their own little fresh perspective to the table. So that's what I'm really looking forward to. I'm not the biggest Stallone fan.
What?
I don't know. I think my favorite Stallone movie is probably Escape Plan with with Arnold. But I mean, I don't know. I think he'll do a good job in it. And like I said, I'm looking forward to the characters and just the stories that, I mean, it's infinite stories. So you can do anything in the cosmic universe.
Yeah, they're just making up stuff. Infinite. Just make up more stuff.
Kind of like us right now.
That's right. Just making it up. All right, so to recap the news, we got Boba Fett appearing in Mandalorian 2. Katie Sackhoff is reprising a role from Clone Wars and Rebels on The Mandalorian. Netflix is going to bring the Old Guard comic to life, and that drops on July 10th. Comic-Con is an at-home experience. Nova is set to make his MCU debut, which has us excited. Hamilton is coming to Disney+. And then finally, the Ravagers will be featured in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And then the rumor is that they'll get their own Disney Plus series, which, I mean, if you don't have Disney Plus, and, you know, I have kids, so it's just a double. It's the best.
It's the best. It's the best.
Yeah. So that's the punch list every Wednesday on on nerdsonearth.com. And so we'd love to have you join us over on the website. We have an article a day, lots of comics, lots of D&D, lots of stuff. But we'll be here next week to discuss next week's news and see what happens between now and then.
We can't give you any previews because we don't know the news yet.
We don't know. It's from the future.
Yeah.
We don't know what's happening in the future.
Yeah.
I don't even know what day it is.
It could be Wednesday for all I know.
Well, let's just say it's Wednesday.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Abram.
Thank you, Clave.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you in 2 minutes in the Nerds on Earth Discord.
Perfect.
All right. Later, man.
See ya.
Later, nerds.